Greetings and welcome to the first Victory Lap video in the Special 7 series, where we take a look at the full unedited footage of the character who completed the day's challenge the fastest. In this case, it's our perception character, the lovely and charming I See Your Boobies. Now you might be saying,
Hey, Madcap, this isn't where the series started. Don't you have to do the domestic life stuff?
No, the answer is I don't. It's my video, I can do what I want. Moreover, the challenge is to complete the day's task in the fastest amount of in-game time, and the clock doesn't start until you leave Vault 111. But since there is actually, some footage down here that isn't identical to what came before, well, more accurately, you can start to gain experience down here, and that's why I've started the video down here, even though technically the clock is not running. Also, as I mentioned in Special 7 Part 1, I did not have my microphone on it while I was doing I See Your Boobies' run, so this is entirely a voiceover commentary from the editing booth.
What the hell?
No, I will try not to repeat the jokes that I made
What happened here?
in the previous episode, like her looking, I see your boobies, heavy breathing. So to get through Vault 111, it's a fairly straightforward. It's a path. There's one dead end that none of the characters went down because, again, allowed to use my knowledge of the game to know where I need to go. You come into here, you use the terminal, you open the evacuation tunnel. If you remember to go get the ammo for this gun, because this gun is quite good, you go get that. Remember that our little fat bastard you dick didn't.
Madcap, you said that you dick was more childish and immature than I See Your Boobies. Why is that?
Well, because you dick could actually potentially be an actual name.
Isn't that racist?
No, it's just an observation. I will remind you once again that this character has perception 10, but doesn't actually hit at better than 75, something at the end of that corridor. Fantastico. In fact, so far I have to say the negligible difference in chances to hit displayed between this character and the other characters is concerning. And, well, I hope that as the game goes on, the differences become more and more pronounced, and the differences in the special stats is not just, well, you can't unlock perks X, Y, and Z. I mean, we already know that the endurance and agility characters can run farther, and the agility character has more AP, and that's wonderful. And the luck character fills the crit meter faster. But yet to see a meaningful difference as far as the perception stat goes, which is probably going to cause some problems as far as making this character viable as the game goes on, since your perks seem to kind of be geared around using semi-automatic rifles, and particularly sniper rifles, at night, which sort of lends itself to a stealth sniper playstyle, but the sneak skill is going to be locked behind the agility tree. Now, it is low enough that on those occasions where we level up and all of the perception perks are level locked and we're not there yet, we will be allowed to go over and grab something in a different tree, which is almost certainly going to be sneak, because, we're probably going to need that. Yeah, we'll be able to get sneak once we find the agility, bobblehead, which of course is at the opposite end of the map from where we start. We'll get up to agility 4 and be able to get Mr. Sandman, which will let our silence weapons do more damage. I honestly don't remember which rifles can take a silencer and which ones can't, but that will be at least a little bit more helpful. Put the brainy specs on. Yes, I didn't see the brainy specs. I had to go back for them. You saw that earlier. But now my perception's up to 11, and of course, the perception bobblehead is the first one you get, which is a godsend for all the other characters to the extent that the perception stat matters in VATS. Again, haven't really seen any evidence of that yet. Oh my god, she looks like the most sinister librarian ever. But, yes, so we'll be able to get our perception bobblehead right off the bat, and with the glasses, that will boost us up to perception 12. Again, not going to help as much as we'd like it to. And I wonder if part of the reason for that is there's nothing that says that you have to use VATS. Like, there's VATS defense and there's critical hits. And those are the two things that you might find yourself using VATS for. You can't strafe while using VATS. You stand still and just like let the enemy take shots at you. So if your skill in first-person or third-person shooters is better than the skill the game assigns to your character, and you don't care about critical hits because you're not going down a luck critical hit build, there's not necessarily that much of a use for VATS. I'm sure someone's going to argue about this, you know, if this ever gets any views.
Hey, Madcap, you just skipped through a loading screen. I thought you said this was the unedited footage.
Yeah, like I care about loading screens. Come on, man. Okay, so we're about 5 minutes, 45 seconds into this. We finally got out of the vault. And shocked sigh. Yes, indeed, Sanctuary Hills is now a blasted wasteland. And if this is your first time in the game, obviously you have no idea how long you've been down there or how long you've been frozen. And Codsworth is going to say 210 years. Good for him. We're going to poke in here, first of all, and just see what there is to loot. Desk fans. We love desk fans. They have screws. You need screws to upgrade basically all of your weapons. And screws are shockingly hard to come by. Well, actually, not shockingly hard to come by, given that it's been 200 years since manufacturing stopped. But shockingly hard to come by in a game that, from a design perspective, persists on telling you that it's been, you know, not all that long, actually, since the world ended, because scavengers never came through here, picked novice locks, and stole everything. And yes, this is a constant theme that I repeat throughout all of my Fallout videos. The timeline has just gone on too far. And no, I'm not going to let that go. Hello, Codsworth. Well, one funny thing about this is that I kept trying to find an angle so that the light would look appropriate. So you see all the characters in what footage I put in there talking to Codsworth from different angles, and the camera would perpetually just come at them from stupid angles. Anyways, it's worse than I thought. You're suffering from hunger-induced paranoia. Oh, Codsworth, we love you. I'm not really sure why I'm not dialogue skipping right here. But, and you ask yourself, well, how is this possibly the fastest run? Well, number one, I'm not a speedrunner. I don't pretend to be a speedrunner. I don't know any of the speedrun strats. I think learning the speedrun strats takes away from your enjoyment of the game the way it's meant to be played, whatever that means. And so yeah, the only game that I actually know like anything about speedrunning is GTA 5, which is a game that I don't really like all that much. But as far as how our friend here, I See Your Boobies, is going to end up being the winner in today's little race, well, it's really straightforward. I think the looting that you already saw her doing is all the looting that she's going to do. We're going to kill these bloatflies, then we're going to leave. We're not even going to hit the cooking spit that a couple of other characters, not the cooking, the campfire, whatever it is, the place that you cook the meat so that it somehow magically removes the radiation from the meat so you can eat it safely, because that's how radiation works. Have I complained about how poorly survival mode was grafted on top of this? Gritty realism, where Stimpaks and Radaway rapidly, massively dehydrate you. Also, you can cook the meat and make it safe to eat, even though everything's heavily irradiated. Yeah, sure. Okay, Bloatfly dead. See, at least at this range, everything's a 95, but I don't think that's any different for any of the other characters. So, again, we're wondering, what's the point of having all that perception? Stealth, yeah, come on. Nothing in these dressers. I don't have a bobby pin to pick the lock under there. Toy car, baby rattle, exciting stuff. Oh, now I have bobby pins. Am I going to go back? No, of course not. Let's talk to Codsworth and be on our way. As I mentioned in the underlying video, I really don't need to spend that much time looting with this character because we already have the brainy specs. They're basically, they're some of the only gear. There are a couple of hats, I think, that increase perception, but there aren't any outfits that do it, as far as I know. Like the charisma character wants to stumble around and find, a dress to boost her charisma, because I think that actually does have an effect on how often the pacification thing that she has works. What her overall charisma score is, and you can get charisma up to like 13, even before, yeah, because what the outfit that you get from Strong's Minder is charisma 3. And then the bobblehead on top of that, if you've already maxed out your charisma before getting it, so that's charisma 14 right there, and that's before you have any booze. So ultimately that can be interesting, if nothing else. I'm not really surprised that our perception friend here won this round. I figured it was going to be one of the combat-oriented classes, strength, perception, or agility, just because this is a fairly straightforward combat section, and the person whose guns can do the most damage in the least amount of time is probably going to do an okay job at this. Also, playing on normal difficulty, which right now, not that big a thing. As the game goes on, the more that we barge into level-gated areas when we're under-leveled, the more that's going to matter. And we're probably going to do that because, well, the characters are on the clock. That's part of the challenge.
Well, how can it be a challenge if there's not a speedrun?
Shut up. Yeah, this first challenge was a simple in and out without too much stuff going on. So what we're going to see going forward is something a bit more complex. Like, at some point the challenge is going to be get to Diamond City, and characters are obviously going to have to deal with bandits and whatnot. I keep saying bandits when they're called raiders, but look, this is Skyrim with a different skin. Let's please stop pretending otherwise. With all the random loot lying around in a lawless environment without very many signs of civilization. Yeah, okay, there's radiation and there's guns. Okay, yes, very different, I'm sure. While I was rambling on there, Dogmeat just brought me a baseball bat, which is not something that I was actually aware that he could do.
So much for using your knowledge of the game to exploit things.
Well, okay, I do know that Dogmeat has the ability to retrieve items from locked containers, and that he has an item duplication glitch. And those are, like, game-breaking exploits that I don't consider it fair to use. Like, okay, I know how to get Righteous Authority. I know Righteous Authority is a pretty powerful early game weapon. Not really early game. It stays pretty relevant throughout the entire game. That's not an exploit. You go through, you do that quest, you grab it, or rather, it's given to you. The way that the game's intended. I know how to get Pikmin's Blade, which is something that I'm probably going to want SM Ash to do in the relatively near future, because it is a remarkably powerful weapon. Madcap, why didn't you have Tresniak go get it? Well, because I haven't been over to that side of the city yet. Something I really want Tresniak to get his hands on is Swan's Power Fist, which is why we've been hoarding trip mines and whatnot in the recent survival videos, because yes, we're going to be using those to get him. We just saw in this video, I see your boobies, ignore the house where the combat knife is. Speaking of appropriate uses of knowledge of the game. We know that there's a combat knife in the house on top of the hill, or in the backyard in the house on top of the hill. We know there's a pipe action sniper rifle over here. I know, watching this video, that there's a cap stash just off to my right in the corner there, but I'm going to completely ignore it because I'm watching this from the benefit of hindsight and not actually paying attention as I'm playing the game because I'm in a hurry, which is probably part of the problem here. This is why these characters are not the Pathfinder characters. We are in a little bit of a race against each other, and it's probably going to end up getting staggered out more and more. Like, the Charisma character in particular is not going to win any of these early challenges because she's going to be building up settlements. But when we get to build the teleporter that takes you to the Institute, that's probably going to take about 3 minutes for the Charisma character, because she's going to have multiple settlements up and running at that point, and it's going to be a very short bonus video that you get. But yes, the plan ultimately is to do the entire game Automatron and Far Harbor. I'm not really sure about Nuka World, because again, all these characters have already gone and talked to Preston Garvey. I kind of feel like Nuka World, at least Nuka World the way that it's meant to be played, and the Fallout 4 base game the way that it's meant to be played, are mutually exclusive. Right? Fallout 4 is about bringing civilization back to the wasteland and building settlements and connecting those settlements together and basically, like, you know, turning the Commonwealth into the Commonwealth of me, and that's not a bad thing. Whereas Nuka World is about terrorizing the Commonwealth and stagnating it and bringing it back into anarchy and chaos. Yes, I did just walk away from that Raider corpse that still has a stim pack on it. My character may have perception 10 or 11. I do not. I did at one point use console commands to just create a level 30 character right out the bat. And I do at some point want to do Nuka World, and I might end up just doing that. Just get a new character, bump them up to level 30, and send them on their way immediately. I'm not, again, I'm not super good at this game. I'm not going to try to do a level 1 Nuka World run. This channel exists for me to have fun, and for you to hopefully get some entertainment out of me having fun. So there's that. The other, oh yeah, Nuka World survival, because once you beat the theme park area of Nuka World, you're sent back out into the Commonwealth to raid settlements and bring them under Raider control. And we have another wonderful little perception. Oh yeah, 55, 49 from right over here. Come on, I have 11 perception at this point. I'm about to have 12 perception when I get the bobblehead. This is the best you can do. Anyway, survival mode disables fast travel. It's one of the reasons why we're not doing this on survival mode. Another reason why is because the raw footage would be twice as long and I'd run out of hard drive space before I could publish a single video. But survival mode, having to walk back and forth across the Commonwealth, because the guy who sends you out to raid settlements in the Commonwealth stays in Nuka World, which is all the way at the extreme left-hand end of the map. Hello, boys. Alright, you've seen this bit before, because I did include this in the video, where these guys just start grenading. Yeah, there's one. Ow, I've been crippled. Oh, no. Alright, well, stim pack. There we go. Okay, fine. Back up. Flaming Raider tries to attack dog. I'm somehow a better shot with the pistol than I am with the rifle. That is actually really annoying. Oh, there's another one. And I'm crippled again. Have I mentioned how much I hate grenades in this game? It's why a couple of the other runs actually, like, used grenades. I so rarely use grenades because I have trouble with their projectile. I rarely use grenades because I don't use grenades, which is to say I don't really, like, have a lot of experience with them, and I tend to stick with more familiar things. Now, part of this challenge, of course, is to force me into a single track, so I have to use special abilities that I don't normally unlock because I'm usually more interested in getting things that seem more useful. So this does mean, of course, that my perception character is going to be able to unlock every safe in the game before too long, so that will be at least one nice bonus with this challenge. Yeah, this challenge basically originated with me having like a mid-game character, like level 30 or whatever, and doing, what, Nuka World and running into some obscure skill checks there with like lockpicking, or doing Automatron and not having a very high rank in robotics expert, and just thinking, wow, it'd be really nice to actually have these things. But of course, I don't normally get these things when I do a normal run because I'm fixated on getting the things that are actually useful for the game, like a combat skill and sinking 6 points into charisma in order to get the settlement supply line set up and stuff like that. So that's part of the basis for this challenge, is actually being able to use all of the various perks in the game. Okay, so I See Your Boobies is skipping through all the dialogue with Preston Garvey as fast as we can. There's one line here with good old Sturges that always seems to play because for whatever reason you can't dialogue skip that. Now we're talking minigun. Yeah, you don't want a minigun. You want single-shot rifles, or not single, semi-automatic rifles, not automatic rifles, the ones with the lower fire rates, because that's what you're good with. It's weird. It's weird to me that Night Person, which is +1 to perception, it's +2 to perception, and I don't remember what the other thing is off the top of my head. Dub that in. Intelligence. Yeah. At night is in the perception tree, and sneak is over in it. Well, of course, sneak is going to be in agility. Agility is basically dexterity from like old school RPGs, but well, yeah, basically it's split up. So strength and endurance are your fighter class skills. Agility and perception are your thief class skills. And charisma and intelligence are your wizard class skills, more or less. I mean, speech checks in lieu of magic, but you know you can do some mixing and matching even on Fallout 4, which gives you a lot less in the way of special points at the beginning of the game to work with. I think the other games give you like 35, and this one takes you down to 28. Is that right? No, I'm sorry. The others give you 35 to assign, having already put 1 in each slot. This game gives you 21. The 28 is what you have in total, but you have to assign 1 to each slot. So yeah, there's a lot fewer special points to go around in this game. And part of that is because there is no level cap here, and you are allowed to just put your level up point, spend your level up point by putting an extra point into one of your special skills, as long as that special skill is not yet 10. So it actually is possible to wait until you have 11, until you have 10 in every special point to get any bobbleheads, and you can max out at 11 special. Obviously, that's not what we're doing in this run, or either of the more traditional runs, either the Tresniak run or the Georgia run. It is something I've thought about doing, but it'd be a long time off, frankly. So now we're out here, yep, using the laser musket as a close combat weapon. I'm amused by this. Oh, right, I have a shotgun. Shotguns are rifles, technically, in this game, so yeah, eat lead. Still unclear on the subject of how shotguns manage to miss in VATS, but they do, somehow. Everybody eventually made their way up here, whether it was before or after the Deathclaw showed up, because there is a raider up here who seems to actually know how to use cover, and they gotta die. There's a raider who doesn't know how to use cover. Doggo, grab him. Oh, okay, good. We put the shotgun away before we try to shoot this guy. Come on. So yeah, with the helmet on, we don't get our perception bonus from the glasses, but we still have 11 perception, because by this point we have picked up the bobblehead. Now look, obviously it makes sense to stop in the middle of a fight and level up. The game is very inconsistent, I think, about what pauses and what doesn't. I miss Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Oblivion, that method of pausing the world while you're in conversation, because the number of times that I've been in Skyrim and been stuck in a conversation while a dragon has swooped down and destroyed the town, it's been a little bit annoying. And I'm waiting for the same thing to happen. Well, the same thing can't happen here, because at least in this game, you are allowed to just wave the camera off and immediately break, I think, basically any conversation in the game. So you're not trapped listening to a courier. I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see here. Yep, got this note. And like you're stuck. There's no way to skip through that. Yes, use the sniper rifle on the giant scaly lizard.
We made this joke in the other video. So why don't you tell us something new, Madcap? Like, why do you hate GTA?
I don't hate GTA. It's just not my favorite thing. Like, I played Saints Row. Well, I played, like, I'm guessing 4, maybe GTA 4 on a friend's PlayStation at some point. This GTA on PlayStation, I don't know, on a friend's console at some point, many years ago, like probably around the time that it came out, and got into Saints Row. Well, before Get Out of Hell came out, because I got Get Out of Hell pretty much when it came out. I think no, that's not true, because Get Out of Hell came out around the same time as GTA, and I wasn't. Or GTA 5. Okay, I'm just like way off base here. But the point is, I played GTA 4 once on a console when I was younger, and other than that, just really got used to the controls and the feel of Saints Row. If you've ever gone from trying to do a shootout in Saints Row to trying to do a shootout in GTA 5, you know what I mean. I feel clumsy and somewhat useless in that game, and it's not a whole lot of fun as far as playing it or watching it. So, yeah. In the meantime, there was a Deathclaw fight, and I've gone and exited the power armor outside the Museum of Freedom, because I figure this way I can save me some fusion core strength. Although it occurred to me that something that we're probably going to want to do at some point is the Vault 81 section, which is probably a pretty decent challenge for these guys. So we're going to need 3 fusion cores to get in, assuming you're not the charisma character. And, well, there's a fusion core right there. And then there's one in the Mole Rat Den under Red Rocket, and then there's one at the depot that we did on the Survival and Pathfinder playthroughs. So I'm probably going to have them go grab those. So it's really not going to... I doubt that we're actually going to get a chance to use the power armor again anytime soon. Oh, well. So yeah, I kind of figured that the perception or agility character would be the one to ace this initial section because, again, very straightforward in its combat. I did not really expect the perception character to have an advantage once we got to the Deathclaw fight because you got to use the minigun. Minigun's a heavy weapon. It's certainly not a semi-automatic rifle, which is what the perception character is good at. So... okay. I mean, we did get the laser musket. The laser musket is probably the best weapon in the early game. Now, granted, long-term pistols are better, so I do expect the agility character to pull out ahead eventually as far as quote-unquote speedrunning this. But as I said, the laser musket is probably the best weapon in the early game, so it's not that surprising that once I got that and used it to tear open the raiders inside the Museum of Freedom, that's going to give me a slight advantage here and in the next challenge, which, as I said at the end of the video, is probably going to be the first step. Yeah, we'll see about that. All right, and this is about where I'm going to go ahead and leave you from the editing booth, because as hinted at in the Special 7 video, where we saw 7 guys, I forgot to do the final portion of this where we actually check the time. So I did have the microphone on for that because I recorded that at the start of the video that I made for the charisma character. So I'm just going to turn you over to that audio now from the editing booth. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye. Whoops, I forgot to record a finish time for her. Just loading back into the game and see that I've got 44 minutes of gameplay with her, which suggests that this is going to be fairly decent. Alright, where are we at? Right now, it's 4:29. Oh my goodness. Run! Run, girl. You have, like, no body fat, so you should be able to run really fast, although, granted, like, not, apparently. Come on, come on, come on. I know what the endurance time is. That's what we gotta beat. Where's Preston? Preston, are you seriously just gonna come over the hill? Oh, no, you're right here. Okay.
Well, I'll be damned. It's the monument to the original Minutemen.
Oh, no!
I knew that was somewhere around Concord. I'm glad you decided to come with us. I should have listened to Mama Murphy all along. Pretty nice place she's found for us. I think we could settle down.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright, we can do this.
I used
Great.
to like living here before the war.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm a ghoul.
Damn.
Just my son.
Damn. Anyway, I am glad you're here.
I'm not so sure that you are.
And I hope
Sure. I'd be glad to help.
that's fantastic. By the way,
Right?
Alright, that's done. When Freedom Calls is done, it's 4:51. I See Your Boobies is in the lead right now, and that's a level up. Great. So that'll be level 4. Okay, what do we want to get from you? VATS? 5% increase to hit chance and damage dealt to VATS targets. That's not bad when that levels up. Explosives. Maybe. Yeah, sniper's not worth it. Yeah, penetrator actually could be somewhat useful. And then every VATS attack on the same body part gains 10% accuracy, which could be useful depending on how far away we are from them. But I think that for right now, we're going to go ahead and grab awareness. Alright, so that is going to wrap things up for I See Your Boobies, and I'm going to go back in now and create our next character.
here must be the Old North Bridge, where the first shots of the American Revolution were fired. I'd call that the best omen I've seen since we left Quincy.
Huh. Preston has a whole bunch of dialogue if you just... Interesting. Things I didn't know about, because I never bothered to follow him. Alright, I've already done the endurance run, so now we're going to go ahead... I should save. Thank you. And then we're going to go back to the main menu, and we are going to set up our charisma character. And now a word from our sponsor, me! Hi, Legion, I'm Madcap. Betcha I can swim away and be just fine, because surprisingly, the Conjurer not going to be able to electrify the water and kill me.
Because I want to get pregnant again.
Look, honestly, that guy would probably break her pelvis. Show me a fence, or crash the car. One of those two things. That's fine.